How's it going? Welcome to the Dead Time Radio. I'm here with my friend Billy. How are you doing, Billy?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Fucking around with the video.
Season 2, episode 2.
I know, shit.
Welcome along.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff to talk about today.
2 seasons, 2 episodes already.
2 and 2.
We have lots and lots of downloads.
Yeah, thank you.
And we have almost 200 people just in America that are listening all the time.
Yeah,
which is cool. We want to see more. We want more. We want more.
More and more.
Tell your friends.
Yes. And on the YouTube, like and subscribe. Leave some notes and comments, and we appreciate it.
Become a patron if you want. Yes. There's a button on the Podbean app. And eventually we're going to get the button somewhere else in the actual video. You can click on it and it'll be a link, blah, blah, blah. And you can donate if you want, if you really like what we're doing. You can give us a call, 843-492-7966. Leave us a message. It's 2 minutes long, as long as it'll go. But leave us a message, and we will play it on air. Send us an email. Did we say the email yet?
No.
What is it, Don?
thedeadtimeradio@gmail.com.
That's right. thedeadtimeradio@gmail.com.
We also have digits.
Digits.
Billy, shoot our digits out.
I already did. I just did.
You did, okay.
843-492-7966.
66.
6. Blah. All right. So what's today's episode about? Today's episode is about ancient cryptic texts. So, cryptic. I'm a moron. Yeah, we're going to talk about texts that actually have secret shit in them. It's kind of interesting. Manuscripts and stuff like that. I don't know. I like it. I like it. Secrets. Me too.
I think everybody does. Like you hear the word secrets, like, ooh, what secret?
Think of it like, what was that movie that Nicolas Cage was in where he
Face Off.
No. Where he had God damn it, what is it? Not Da Vinci Code. Was it Da Vinci Code?
The National Treasure.
National Treasure. Da Vinci Code was Tom Hanks.
That's Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, where he found
stuff.
secret text in the Constitution, and it led to treasure.
And then it was in the dollar bill, and then it was the
dollar bills, y'all.
Liberty Bell, and
yeah,
cool adventures and through secrets.
We're not going to have any manuscripts that will tell you anything of treasures, so don't be expecting that.
No.
But
he's just saying the secrets
part. But it's kind of cool that there's old papers out there with really cool shit on it. So shall we just jump right in it?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. So there are manuscripts that defy our technological progress. Books composed of undecipherable languages and unknown symbols. Some authors thwarted discovery, while other scribes in their books are simply artifacts from a forgotten culture. These mysterious texts have roused the imaginations of scholars and amateur historians, but they remain an enigma. I love that word.
Me too.
Here are 10 cryptic books that continue to confound researchers. These obscure gems open up a world of intriguing possibilities. There is a 600-year-old book. I watched a documentary about this, and I kind of got bored with it, but 600-year-old book written in an unknown language containing peculiar illustrations of unknown species, plant and animal. The Voynich manuscript. I told you about this the other day.
You did, yeah.
Nobody can decipher this book.
Voynich.
Discovered in 1912 and named after the book dealer who acquired it, contains chapters on herbs, biological systems, astrological and astronomical passages, and fantastical oddities. At least we think, because no one has been able to decipher its 240 pages.
Wow.
The Voynich has frustrated and fascinated codebreakers and armchair historians who've come up with a number of hypothetical explanations. Some believe the entire work is a fabrication. Army cryptographer William F. Friedman concluded that the Voynich was written in a constructed language, while others see it as a piece of outsider art that was composed during a trance. A popular theory about the Voynich being decipherable only under a microscope has yielded no answers. The book's bizarre marginalia, that sounds like dirty, doesn't it?
Marginalia.
Did you see her marginalia?
Her bizarre marginalia. It wasn't like a normal marginalia. It was her bizarre marginalia.
Such as the drawing of a corpse holding its stomach that New Yorker writer Reed Johnson mentioned in his article about the appeal of the Voynich teases the imagination further still. The Voynich remains an unsolved puzzle and a symbol of wishful thinking.
So, is it like Tolkien's language? Like somebody invented a language and they wrote 240 pages? Or
I don't know.
so no one's going to decipher it except for the person that invented the language?
Well, I mean, from what I saw on the documentary, they were talking about there was a guy who they think was an alchemist who wrote the book, and because his name is mentioned in it.
Okay.
And he was actually like the alchemist to like I want to say it was like the first emperor of not Germany. Oh fuck. Not Rome. But anyway, he was an old dude, like way back when, like when some emperor, I think it was in some Germanic country. It was either Germany or Romania or somewhere, I can't remember. But he was like this guy's personal alchemist. And that emperor suffered from melancholia.
Oh.
And
Possession.
right, he was possessed.
Possessed.
So he made some type of an elixir that made him feel better. It was probably just beer. But they say that he wrote it, but nobody really knows who wrote it, and nobody can decipher the language that's in it. So they don't know if it's gibberish or if somebody actually created a language, like you were saying, like Tolkien did.
Yeah.
Tolkien. It's just a strange book.
Cool.
What's this next one here? Reclusive artist Henry Darger created an elaborate mythology surrounding a battle between child slaves and vicious overlords that was realized in a 15,145-page saga called The Story of the Vivian Girls in what is known as the realms of the unreal of the Glandico-Angelinian war storm caused by the child slave rebellion. Dude, that alone is probably 15,000 pages, just the title.
Just the title, yeah. So, the Vivian Tries. There it is. Just read the Vivian
The
Tries.
Codex Seraphinianus Finianus is another deeply personal compendium that recalls the work of Hieronymus Bosch. Luigi Serafini's fantastical text is a roadmap of its creator's imagination. 360 pages of flora, fauna, anatomies, fashions, and foods that exist only in Serafini's head. Wow. The text, composed in a manner similar to automatic writing during the late 1970s, is unintelligible, but Serafini wanted to create a work that conveyed the sense a child has when they are presented with books they aren't able to read. So that's not really a mysterious ancient text. That's some dipshit writing a fucking story and making up his own shit while he does it.
That's called fiction.
Yeah.
So that was not.
No. What a dud.
That was a dud.
A Hungarian count donated the Rohank Codex to the country's Academy of Sciences in 1838, but the 448-page text containing 87 crude illustrations can be traced back to the 1700s. Pictures of military battles and religious iconography populate the manuscript. Christian, pagan, and Islamic symbolism, Scholars have suggested the book's cryptic script could be early Hungarian, Hindi, and even a syllabary alphabet similar to Chinese. All of the research may be for naught, since a number of scholars believe the work to be a hoax by Transylvanian Hungarian antiquarian Samuel Literati Nemes. Will a director please use this name for their next movie villain? Ho ho. The rare book dealer is infamous for his convincing historical forgeries. So, yeah, you're probably going to run into a lot of that when you're dealing with ancient text. People making shit up.
Yeah.
Like making hoaxes.
Yep.
There was a long time where they thought the Dead Sea Scrolls was a hoax. Mm-hmm. Remember? They thought that those were not real.
Yep.
But there's a lot of interesting stuff in there that actually correlates, and I think they carbon dated those, and they found out that they were actually really super old.
Yeah.
And they were legit. Let's see here. It's been 45 years since the Zodiac Killer first terrorized the Northern California area. One of my favorite serial killers.
Really? 45 years?
taunting the press with coded messages. Of the 4 ciphers supposedly sent by the serial killer, only one has been solved. A complex 408-word cryptogram in which the murderer talked about making the victims his slaves in the afterlife. Nice guy. Despite a list of potential suspects, the Zodiac murders and letters remain unsolved to this day.
Dude.
Unbelievable.
Believable.
Can you believe that?
No.
Of the 4 ciphers supposedly sent, they only could unencrypt or decrypt one.
He was smarter than everyone.
Guy was brilliant. And not in a good way, but he was fucking a genius. But most serial killers are geniuses.
So I had an idea. We should try to do like To Catch a Killer on our show. Just
I
do
thought you were
like
gonna be
one
like,
day.
We should be like the Zodiac Killer.
No, To Catch a Killer. It's like a subscription where you're trying to figure out who's the killer, but it's real cases that they send you to try to,
Maybe.
you know, like an armchair sleuth, I thought they were saying.
Maybe. We have to get more people to actually participate with us first. We can't just...
I know, I'm just saying, it's the idea, dude.
Participate, people.
Just throwing it out there.
Participate. Send us emails. TheDeadTimeRadio@gmail.com. Or give us a call, 843-492-7966. How was that for a plug?
That was a total plug.
Fucking sweet.
Pluggage.
Treasure hunters have secured the Bedford County, Virginia area... Scoured, sorry. Not secured. The Bedford County, Virginia area since the 19th century, searching for buried gold, silver, and jewels. The Beale papers are ciphers that reveal the location of over $60 million in treasure, said to be squirreled away by Thomas Jefferson Beale. He entrusted the text to a friend before he died, and James B. Ward made them public in 1885. Only one of the codes has been cracked, revealing details of the riches and their location. But scholars doubt the authenticity of the papers. No record of a Thomas Jefferson Beale has ever been found. Ward, a Mason, is suspected to be the author. Edgar Allan Poe, a cryptography enthusiast, I didn't know that about him. I knew he was a cocaine head, was also on the list of potential scribes due to his connection to Virginia and his short story, The Gold Bug, about a secret message that leads to buried treasure. Historians have since ruled him out. I mean,
Is that the one that was found?
Yeah.
I think they found that one.
Maybe.
There was the one dude that found it was a lot of
buried treasure?
Yeah.
So it was real?
Yeah. People have been trying to find it and somebody actually found it.
I'm going to fucking look that up right now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that.
The Beale papers.
The Beale papers. Did they find the treasure from the Beale papers? It doesn't really say much. It just talks about it. We'll have to get into that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go back to that in a sec. Where was I? Oh, there it was. All right, let's see. Alchemist, occultist, and consultant to Queen Elizabeth I, John Dee, had ownership of the Book of Soiga until his death. It was thought to be lost until the 1990s, when 2 manuscripts were located in the British Library and the University of Oxford's Bodleian Library under a different title. Dee sought the help of spirit medium Edward Kelly to uncover the significance of the 16th century magical text. The angel Uriel supposedly revealed to the men that only the archangel Michael could interpret the book. Later, writer Jim Reeds cracked the code used to create the 36 tables of letters found within, but the collection of incantations, names, and backwards writing remains a mystery.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like to do that part in the newspaper where you try to use the cipher.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like anagrams?
Yes. I like that.
Wow. Is the Dorabella cipher a love letter written by a 40-year-old married composer to a girl in her 20s? I don't know. What are you asking me for?
Figure it out, Billy.
Edward Elgar and Dora Penny were friends for life, but an 87-character, 3-line cipher sent to Penny by the musician in 1897 could hold a deeper meaning. Reportedly, Penny was never able to translate it. Some believe it's shorthand for a musical composition. Several convoluted translations have surfaced over the years, but most of them resemble nonsense poems, which is yet another theory about the popular mystery. So, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, if he liked her, just fucking tell her. Why would he do that? Hey, I'm going to write a cipher that she'll never be able to fucking crack. She'll never know how I feel, but I'm going to do it anyway. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
He was probably dropping hints to her as to how to figure it out.
Right?
She just wasn't picking it up. She's doing her nails and trying to make sure curls in her hair were right.
He probably wrote on a piece of paper.
She was straightening her dress.
Right. She wrote
while he was telling her how to figure it out.
He wrote the code, how to decipher it on a piece of paper and gave it to her and said, hold on to this. You may need it someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't have toilet paper in the outhouse that day.
Just fucking tell her, dude. Okay?
That's not romantic.
It's not romantic.
It's not romantic.
That's like the least romantic thing. If I found a girl and was like, hey, read this, and once you decrypt it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Dude, she'd be like, fuck that.
I would love that. That's my jam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's because you're a nerd.
I'm a total nerd.
And that's cool. I mean, fuck yeah, dude.
Make sure my nerd card. So maybe he thought she was a fellow nerd and she just wasn't.
Maybe they were both into that kind of shit, and he was
he's
like,
a musician, and
I'm gonna give her this note, and she's gonna totally
figure it out, and then she's gonna ask me to marry her because
she's gonna get a girly boner over the fact that I put it in encrypted. She's totally gonna get a girly boner. I don't know, man. It's just silly. Believed to be a ritual calendar, the Liber Lenteus has a somewhat morbid history. A Croatian official in the Hungarian royal chancellery. That's who it was. It was the Hungarian emperor. That guy was purchased a female mummy from Egypt during his travels. He displayed it in the sitting room of his home, even removing the linen wrappings at one point. After his death, the mummy was donated to the Archaeological Museum in Zagreb, where a lengthy inscription was found on the cloth, estimated to date back to 250 BC. The codex contains 230 lines and 1,200 legible Etruscan words, hymn-like passages, and names of gods. The mummy itself was identified as Nisi Hensu, the wife of Pahar Hensu, a tailor from Thebes. Scholars have never been able to decipher the entire text due to a language barrier.
Wicked.
Rip out that fucking Rosetta Stone.
A real...
Not the software, silly. There's an actual, the Rosetta Stone. Could you imagine?
The way you said it, it's like, here,
whip it out.
Whip it out.
Bet that shit's in fucking German level 2.
Oh, we're not gonna deal with that. That's all right. Just put her in the museum.
Do they have Egyptian level 1 in the Rosetta Stone? I'm gonna have to look now and see if Egyptian is in the collection of languages to learn. What? But I think they speak European. They speak Arabic now, don't they? Egyptian's not a dead language.
It's dead.
But I think they speak Arabic more than they do Egyptian there.
I don't know.
We know that the Ripley Scrolls, named after English author and alchemist George Ripley, is that from Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Are copies of an original 15th century text. The words contain strange illustrations and poetic passages referencing the elusive Philosopher's Stone, aka magical realness that only Harry Potter understands, which is why the scrolls remain a mystery. Harry Potter is fucking fictional. The Philosopher's Stone, you know what that is, right?
I'm not talking to you right now.
Oh, okay.
Continue with what?
Why? Because he said Harry.
Continue your rant.
Because Harry Potter.
Okay, don't touch Harry Potter.
He's a fictional character.
Well,
that's what I said.
So is the fucking Lord of the Rings. So
well, I understand that, but this is an alchemical manuscript. Okay, Harry Potter understands it, but Harry Potter is fictional, so he cannot decipher it for us. That's all I'm saying.
Philosopher's Stone, continue.
Philosopher's Stone is the stone of alchemists that could actually turn lead into gold. That was the big thing about it. It had all the alchemical magic in it. That's all I wanted to say. There was no need to get offended about your precious Harry Potter. All right. Persian poet and astronomer Omar Khayyam wrote thousands of poems, many compiled into the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Numerous translations have added widely different meanings to the text, ranging from mystic interpretations to devoutly religious Islamic symbolism. Scholars can't agree on the authenticity of the collection, clouding the works further. Francis Sangorski, one of half of London bookbinder company Sangorski and Sutcliffe, created a stunning bejeweled binding for the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam that took years to create. It was lost during the sinking of the Titanic. Oh, wow. Sangorsky drowned weeks later, leading many to believe the book itself is cursed.
Maybe he put his soul in it.
Wow.
He binded his soul in that book that went down with the Titanic, and he drowned.
That's kind of crazy.
Because the book drowned, so he had to drown. I mean, that was inevitability.
That's a little creepy.
Take that, James Cameron.
Yeah, Jimmy Cameron.
Jamie?
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy is the king
Cameron.
of the world. Jimmy Cameron. He's a douche. All right. That was pretty interesting stuff, but
Yeah.
it was
meh.
It was meh. So let's
find
look at
something.
another one here.
The
Let's
Ark of the
see-
Covenant. Let's do that
Oh
one.
fuck yeah.
I wrote that one down. That's the one I wanted to
Indiana Jones. The Ark of the Covenant. According to James Davila, a professor at the University of St. Andrews, a translated text called the Treatise of the Vessels contains information about the location of the legendary Ark of the Covenant. According to the Bible, the Ark holds the 10 Commandments handed down to Moses by God. The Ark was housed in King Solomon's temple, which contained a variety of different treasures. When King Solomon's temple was captured and destroyed by the Babylonians in 597 and 586 BC, the artifacts vanished forever. Since then, the fate of Ark of Covenant has been a mystery. Indiana Jones knows where it's at. He found it.
They took the 10 Commandments out of it, and now it's just a box.
Yeah.
So they hid the 10 Commandments. I think there was more than
No,
10.
I don't think they ever opened the box.
I think that the last 5, somebody dropped it. Like you handed it.
You were
to,
watching History of the World Part
you
1, the
No,
Mel
I
Brooks
didn't.
movie.
No, I didn't. They handed it to Chunk.
I
and
give
he
you
dropped
15. 10 commandments. No, so there's a big theory that the Ark of the Covenant
Government.
is in
cover-up.
Ethiopia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I watched a whole series about it on the History Channel, and they were talking, like, there was a guy who was looking for it, and the Ethiopian Catholics, like, down there, super hardcore, they have this one building that's got, like, this big fence around it and everything, and they guard it, and these people are the guardians of the Ark.
So is it Warehouse 13?
Maybe.
Does it have everything in it?
No, it's just one building with the Ark in it.
No, I'm saying, but it's probably got like
I bet
an
it
ant
does.
high where it's like there's
like
thousands
shit inside.
of catacombs and
Yeah. Maybe.
all branches.
But you
off
can't
and-
even go in there to look at it. So people
Well, they're not
don't know
sure
if
you
it's
walk
real
in.
or
It's
not.
not like Target.
So they think maybe that they're making it
There's a
up and they're
Starbucks
just
at the
saying it,
door.
or if it's really there. They don't know. That's the
I
tricky
mean,
part
we're
about
going to
it,
have to investigate that.
right? Has the mystery finally been solved, or have we found just another piece that fits the puzzle? Professor James Davila suggests the artifacts from King Solomon's temple were placed in various places throughout the Middle East. Some of these treasures were hidden in various locations in the land of Israel and in Babylonia, while others were delivered into the hands of the angels Shamshiel, Michael, Gabriel, and perhaps Sariel, Davila says. Based on his interpretations of the treaties of the vessels, Davila thinks that the search for the artifacts from the King Solomon's temple should be focused on the Middle East, where the treasures have been hidden. If they've been hidden there and they've been found, they've probably been destroyed by now.
Or moved.
Or moved.
Or put a fake in its place. You know, like
Right.
Indiana Jones, like, whoosh. There we go.
A newly translated Hebrew text now reveals the location and fate of the ark that was believed to be constructed 3,000 years ago. According to the Bible, the ark holds the 10 Commandments handed down by Moses and God. We are.
So did they hand the whole Ark of the Covenant to them with the commandments inside of it, or did they build it around the commandments?
I have
the
no idea.
specific Ark of the Covenant.
I have no idea.
I don't either. It's just a theory.
So the text mentions a number of treasures, including the Ark of the Covenant. I said it again. Covenant.
It's a cover.
The tabernacle. Musical instruments made of gold, ornaments from the Garden of Eden, and various precious religious stones.
Cool.
77
Plus
tables
more.
of gold, and their gold was from the walls of the Garden of Eden that was revealed to Solomon, and they radiated like the radiance of the sun and moon. which radiate at the height of the world. That's a lot of radiation.
So is that
Are
why
they wearing lead?
burned their eyes out? No, because when they opened it, remember?
That was in Indiana Jones.
I know that. I'm saying, is that why? Because if they're radiating,
That never really happens.
but it's
Your
radiating.
face doesn't melt when the arc
It
gets
did.
opened.
It's more than that.
But maybe, yeah, because there's a lot of radiation
if it
going there.
radiates of the sun and the moon,
Right.
the sun, if you look at it, it's going to burn
Right.
your eyes out. So maybe
I think that only happens if you look at it, because if you remember, Indiana Jones told his girlfriend and him to close their eyes. And then all the Nazis got their faces melted because they were looking at it.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what it is. According to Davila, the writer of the original text was not trying to convey factual locations of the hidden treasures of Solomon's temple, but rather was writing a work of fiction based on different legends. His work was to be a piece of entertaining fiction, not any kind of real guide for finding the lost temple treasures,
Of course he's going to say that. He's backing up because
it's probably because he got threatened.
Oh, yeah. They're going to deport you from wherever you
Because you remember, was it the first Indiana Jones movie or the third one where those guardians were like chasing him, keeping him from finding shit? I think it was the third one.
I don't recall.
Yeah, it was the third one where he was looking for the Holy Grail. And he was in Italy, and there was like a deciphering of stuff, and there was these like agents that have been around forever who are guardians of the whatchamacallit, the Grail. And they were trying to stop him from discovering where it was. So maybe that's what happened with this guy.
Oh.
That there's like a secret organization that we don't know about.
And they like live forever. They can't die.
Yeah, they're like immortal, or it gets handed down through their family, like a caste system, where each family member becomes a new guardian when the other one dies. And they've been around for thousands of years. And if you get too close or find something out and you're about to reveal the location, they come and threaten you. Kind of like our own government does to us.
That's what I was just going to say. So also, why would one person not be the one person to take care of all of it and they'd be immortal? Because if you have a son and they want to be an artist and go join the circus, they're not going to be following what you think they're going to follow.
But, I mean, think about how...
But if there's one person that knows what it means and knows how powerful and knows how important that it is...
But think about how malleable kids are, and if you start at an early age, they want to do that. They want to do what their dad does.
No, they don't.
I did.
Don't. Nope.
My dad was in the military, and I wanted to be in the military so bad. I ended up being in the military.
So what if they have a girl?
It doesn't matter the sex.
Yeah, I didn't want to do anything my parents did.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. It's called free will. If you've got the one person that is like sworn to secrecy,
what if you have more than one kid, though? Then I'm sure one of those kids is going to be like fascinated by what daddy or mommy does, and they're going to be like, I want to do that. I want to guard the ark. I want to stab people who try and find it.
Sure, in theory. Is that why you're having kids?
Maybe.
So don't.
No, I already told you I'm having kids to become world conquerors, but I'm going to realize the empire of Billandia. It's going to happen. The only thing I'm missing is a partner.
I was going to say. You got to get that shit right first, man.
Call me, ladies. 843-492-7966. The text tells us no more about where the ark and other treasures might be than if you watched the film. But what film? The fuck are you talking about?
They can't say the film. It's the film we've been talking about.
But it does provide some interesting insights into Jewish legends in the Middle Ages. Mostly it tells us ways in which people understood the Bible that are not part of official interpretation, Professor DeVille. I mean, he's totally backtracking on everything right now, just from what this is reading. So it sounds to me like, there was somebody that came and had a chat with him.
And they're just like, we can't do this.
The significance and historical value of the ancient Hebrew texts remains unclear. There are several inconsistencies in the text. For example, in the prologue, it states that Shimur, the Levite, and his companions hid the treasures. Later on, the text mentions the treasures being in keeping of or hidden by Shamshiel and other angels. I believe the author looked at various legends without much concern about making them consistent, said Professor Davila. There are many interesting legends relating the fate of the Ark of the Covenant. Why can't I want to say government is what it is. Ark of the Covenant. According to one legend, the Templars know the location of the Ark. Well, they're gone.
They know everything.
Right. The earliest written copies of Masonic rituals state unequivocally that the ancient Masons found the Ark of the Covenant hidden in a cave under under the site of King Solomon's temple. In pursuance of your orders, we repaired the secret vault and let down one of the companions as before. The sun at this time was at its meridian height, the rays of which enabled him to discover a small box or chest, standing on a pedestal, curiously wrought and overlaid with gold. He gave the signal of ascending and was immediately drawn out. We have brought the ark up for the examination of the Grand Council. It would seem we are once again forced to conclude the location and fate of the legendary Ark of the Covenant remains a mystery that has not been solved. Dude, I have a firm theory.
Okay.
That the Templars did not get completely destroyed.
No.
That whole thing was staged.
Yeah.
To make it so that they became a secret society in the sense nobody knew they were around anymore, so that they could not worry about politics and bureaucracies, and they could do what they needed to do to protect these treasures.
Yes.
You're on the same page.
That'd be the smart thing to do.
That's why we're so symbiotic. We're like siblings. We're like peas and carrots. Ancient manuscripts of the mythical city of Timbuktu. Ooh. Centuries ago, Timbuktu, sometimes called the city of 333 saints, was most famous as a center of scholarship. The city was once home to nearly 100,000 ancient manuscripts. That's a lot of paper.
Yep.
Some dating back to the 12th century. Wow. Preserved in family homes and private libraries. From the early 14th to late 16th centuries, Timbuktu was famous for its wealth. It grew rich between the gold mines to the south and the salt mines in the Sahara. Isn't it kind of amazing that back in the day, salt was so valuable? Mm-hmm. That's where the term "he's worth his salt."
Weight in salt. Yeah.
Yeah, they used to pay people in salt.
Yep.
Dude, I'd be pissed if somebody paid me in salt nowadays.
Be like, what the fuck is this?
Right? In the 14th century...
I have high blood pressure.
Right?
What the hell?
I can't take this shit.
I can't take this.
I'm on a salt-free diet, motherfucker. In the 14th century...
I'm allergic to iodine.
In the 14th century, 2/3 of the world's gold came from West Africa, a large proportion of it passing through Timbuktu, where it was transferred from the river to trans-Saharan caravans from canoe to camel. However, Timbuktu, it's first of all related to books, ancient manuscripts, priceless intellectual heritage representing literary remnants from Timbuktu's flourishing 15th century. Timbuktu was a thriving center of learning, and manuscripts were highly prized. It's estimated there are 700,000 manuscripts in Timbuktu, but most of them are missing. They most probably still exist, but it is difficult to find them. The manuscripts of Timbuktu are a living testimony of the highly advanced and refined civilization in sub-Saharan Africa. I bet a lot of those manuscripts ended up in the Library of Alexandria and got burned.
You think so?
Yeah.
But do you think that we're ciphering them now, and that's where all of our stuff's coming from?
Maybe, but like that was around before the 12th century. Shit, that was before. That if it's the 12th century, that's the 1100s, right?
Yeah.
So, no, maybe that they had the manuscripts from the Library of Alexandria brought to Timbuktu, because that was around before this, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Because wasn't the Roman Empire like in the before Christ?
So do you think they built that just to house all the manuscripts? There's 700,000 manuscripts.
That's a lot of fucking manuscripts,
That's a
man.
lot of paper. Okay, so real parchment has to be in like a cigar. You have to have no humidity. You have to wear white gloves. When you go in there, if you've ever been into,
Yeah,
you
vacuum seal everything.
It couldn't just be like at Costco or something.
Can't go to the bookshelf at Costco. Now here's why
manuscript.
I found my favorite manuscript on here. You're gonna love this. Medieval Manuscripts reveals surprising discovery of Star Wars Master Yoda and shocking monsters. Wow. That kind of looks like Yoda, doesn't it? In the medieval manuscripts.
See?
So, what is Star Wars Master Yoda doing in an ancient medieval manuscript? If you're a Star Wars fan, am I a Star Wars fan?
Your hat says you are.
Then you are familiar with the Jedi Master Yoda. Nope, never heard of him. The
is.
best known member of a force-sensitive species whose true name is not recorded. Yeah, Jedi, dumbasses. It is a funny coincidence that a Yoda-like figure also appears in a 14th century manuscript known as the Smithfield Decretals, that are collections of papal letters that compiled decisions, decrees on church law and doctrine. In the picture, the book published by the British Library, Medieval Monsters, medieval historian Damien Kempf and art historian Maria L. Gilbert explore the fantastic, grotesque, and exuberant world of monsters in the Middle Ages through the images found in illuminated manuscripts, from dragons and demons to Yoda and hybrid creatures.
So he looks like a monk. He has an orange.
I don't know. That's pretty weird. Let's see.
Why is his hands like fish?
Right? Known in some sources simply as Yoda's species, this species of small carnivorous humanoids produced several well-known members of the Jedi Order during the time of the Galactic Republic.
I didn't know that Yoda was a carnivore.
Yeah. In Star Wars, the name and homeworld of this species remains unknown. Members of this species were very small, most standing below 70 centimeters, but had extremely long lifespans.
When 900 years old you reach, look this good you will,
But had it lasting many hundreds of years, though, because all members of the species were Jedi, who are known to generally have longer lifespans than what is ordinary for a species. The exact average lifespan of the species is unknown. Yoda died at 999 years old. Adult members of the species were characterized by sharp elfin ears, ridges on their foreheads, tridactyl hands, that means 3 fingers, and most commonly, anisodactyl feet. That, I don't know what that means.
I was going to say.
Their leathery skin and blood were both light green. I'm smart, but I'm not that smart. That is, of course, science fiction, and scientists have never heard of a species like this one. Dude, this guy just blasphemed completely. Okay, Star Wars happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
So
I don't
it's
know
a
what this
fictional
fucking guy's
character.
It's not fiction.
It's a fictional character.
No.
Yeah. So we just went over the Harry
Motherfucker,
Potter
you're just,
deal.
yeah, you're
and
just, oh,
this
whatever.
is a fictional character.
Dude, Yoda lives. I saw him. I saw videos of him. Yoda lives.
I'm sure you did. I saw videos of Harry Potter like yesterday.
Still, this
They're
does
always
not.
running on TV.
This does not prevent anyone from imaging.
Imaging.
Imagining
Are you at work
that there,
right now?
no, that there might be similar life forms somewhere out there in the universe. Of course, there is. It's a funny coincidence that a Yoda-like figure also appears in a 14th century manuscript known as this. Okay, we just read that.
Yeah, they're.
He currently cares for the priceless collections that include copies of Beowulf, some of the world's oldest Bibles, the Lindisfarne Gospels, and the state papers of Henry VIII. He curates exhibitions such as the current Magna Carta, Law, Liberty, Legacy. Harrison has been working at the British Library since 2006. I can't think of how we could have communicated what we do back then apart from an occasional story in the media, he says. The shift began in 2010 when the library started an experimental blog to chart the digitization of the Greek manuscripts. It was a niche thing for a niche audience, he adds. This experimental project evolved into the British Library's Medieval Manuscripts blog, a lively and enlightening account of the curator's life. You know what? Harry Potter is not written in a fucking ancient manuscript. Yoda is. Okay?
We haven't found it yet.
I'm
There's
just saying.
700,000 papers.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
All right.
Just
Oh.
saying. It's fiction.
Medieval manuscripts contain hidden texts of Euripides. Manuscripts from medieval times located at the Library of the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate. Is that how you say that?
I don't know.
In Jerusalem, and at the National Library of France in Paris contain invisible texts written by fucking moron,
It's invisible.
Euripides.
So it's invisible ink?
Maybe.
It says invisible. So how do they know
He lived
anything's
from
on it?
480 to 406 BC, a 5th century BC Greek tragic poet, and Aristotle. So Euripides and Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, as well as a previously unknown ancient commentary on Aristotle. The hidden texts were repeatedly washed off and overwritten in medieval times. So they probably just took old papers and wrote new shit on it. And it was fucking probably some great works from Aristotle and Euripides. And they're like, well, and Jesus
Eraser.
said, g-g-g-g.
Here, use my eraser.
Using very sophisticated multispectral imaging methods, scientists have been able to decipher up to 3 text layers in the manuscripts, which were superimposed on each other. Talk about using recycling.
Woo.
The manuscript in Jerusalem originates from the famous library of the Holy Sepulchre at Jerusalem. That's crazy, man.
So it's from, looks like they wrote it that way, and then they wrote 2 up and down.
But how can you delineate each ones if they're written over everything? I understand multispectral imaging methods, but wouldn't you still get like
the CSI
gibberish?
when it like lifts off the page and it goes.
Yeah, but wouldn't you still get like garbled
over
text because you have so many different layers? Not everybody writes exactly like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's fucking weird.
I don't know. They have a lot of technology now.
Yeah. Ancient manuscript reveals Jesus was married and fathered 2 children with Mary Magdalene. This is where the antediluvians came from.
What does that mean?
The antediluvians are the descendants of Christ. They're the oldest people, or the oldest bloodline.
So is that
the oldest
with
Christ
Mary
bloodline?
Magdalene?
With Mary Magdalene, yeah.
Okay.
Theologians have long speculated about Jesus' alleged romantic relationship with the famed prostitute Mary Magdalene. The translated text might possibly be the first real evidence of Jesus as a father and Mary Magdalene's husband. It can also challenge what is believed about the life of Jesus Christ, one of the best known and most talked about people of human history. According to Professor Barry Wilson and writer Simka Jakobovich, who examined an ancient manuscript almost 1,500 years old found at the British Library, Jesus married the prostitute Mary Magdalene and had children. The so-called Lost Gospel, which has been translated from Aramaic, allegedly reveals the startling new allegations. Professor Barry Wilson and writer Simka Jakobovich spent months translating the text, which they claim states Jesus had 2 children, and the original Virgin Mary was Jesus' wife and not his mother. No, that's not true. That can't be true. Mary Magdalene is not the Virgin Mary.
No.
The original Virgin Mary was his fucking mother.
Yeah.
And if Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, there ain't no goddamn way she was a virgin.
No.
So they got this all screwed up. I don't know, man. That's dumb.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really, the Bible is someone's interpretation of the events that happened. So it was written on the way the person writing it saw it.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to include Mary Magdalene. They would rather
use the Virgin Mary? It was his mommy?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I don't agree with that. I think those are 2 separate people, to be honest. But I could be wrong. You never know. The Sibiu manuscript describes Middle Ages great event, rocket launch into space. What? A multi-tiered rocket is described by Conrad Haas in his manuscript. In 1961, Doru Todorisiu, professor of science and technology at the University of Bucharest, stumbled upon an ancient document, the so-called Sibiu manuscript. The 450-page manuscript, bound into a large single volume dated to about 1570, has history that goes back several centuries. It deals with technical data regarding a multi-stage rocket, artillery, and ballistics. This discovery has been lost in the mists of time because historians have never referred to this invention being of such a great importance for early aviation. The third part of the Sibiu manuscript contains a detailed report of a flying javelin with a considerable effective range and the launching of a multi-tiered rocket in the city of Sibiu, where thousands of people witnessed the event that ended up in a complete success in 1555.
Wow.
Now, I could believe this because we're going to talk about one of the things that we're both interested in. We saw that documentary about the alien moon.
Oh, yeah.
And how the moon is technically not real, that it's hollow and it's actually a spacecraft. Or what I like to call a Death Star.
So maybe this is when they took off to
Well,
the
no,
moon?
I think that was way earlier that they took off. But there's always talk about a whole lost group of civilizations that we're finding evidence that there was super smart fucking people way before us, that we may have had technology that was even more advanced than what we have now.
Yeah, but so why in the 1570s would we not have went to the moon?
Because
If we were in there.
I believe the 1500s was still the Dark Ages. So there was a lot of knowledge lost at one point, if you remember. So, because I think the Renaissance didn't start until the 1600s, right? Or was that?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck, I don't
I'm
remember.
horrible with that, with history.
I don't know, but that's kind of cool.
It's there.
Rockets and space in the 1500s.
Pigs in space.
Oh, Christ. 13th century Black Book of Carmarthen contains ghostly faces. One of the UK's most important medieval manuscripts, the Black Book of Carmarthen, is surprisingly revealing ghosts from the past after research and imaging work discovers eerie faces and lines of verse which had previously been erased from history.
Ooh, look, it looks
according
like a kid.
to new research. Yeah, it kind of does.
Like a mom and then a kid's on the left.
The
You see
two
that?
spooky faces hidden to the naked eye for centuries were found by scholars using ultraviolet light in the 750-year-old Black Book of Carmarthen, which contains some of the earliest written references to King Arthur and Merlin.
Ooh. Was that King Arthur?
The spine-chilling find jumped out from the pages under the UV light in the pages of the ancient book kept securely at the National Library of Wales. The Black Book of Carmarthen was written by a single monk around 1250 and is the oldest surviving manuscript written solely in Welsh. King Arthur makes one of his first appearances in literature as a ruler wanting to gain entrance to a royal court by singing the virtues of his men. Myrddin, better known in English as Merlin, appears in two other poems in dialogue with a Welsh poet. The ink-drawn faces date to the 14th or 15th century, and alongside them is an inscription that suggests the passing down of the book from one generation to another. As researchers shone a UV light over the 54 animal skin pages and discovered a whole host of doodles, drawings, and poems hidden into the margins.
So is that supposed to be Merlin and that's supposed to be King
Arthur?
Arthur?
Like Arthur on the right, Merlin on the left?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, Arthur on the left and then Merlin on the right.
I don't know. That's interesting, though.
His flowing wizardy hair. So maybe that's probably.
Is there more than... Ooh, there's...
What?
Oh, it's different.
No, that's the
I
paper.
thought there was more than one image.
That's it.
That's the next one down. The Codex Washingtonianus contains a passage not seen in any other biblical manuscript. Ooh. Located at the Smithsonian's Freer Gallery of Art, the Codex Washingtonianus is the world's third oldest Bible. It consists of the four Gospels in the so-called Western order: Matthew, John, Luke, and Mark as the... what the fuck does that mean? This priceless ancient book is heavily guarded, and it rarely makes public appearances. Then why is it in the Smithsonian? The Bible has a painted wooden cover with almost 200 parchment pages and is reportedly more than 1,500 years old. When the Codex Washingtonianus was first published publicly in 1912, it caused a controversy because it contained an extra passage in the Gospel of Mark. While researching their cultural context and physical structure, it was discovered that the Washington Codex contains a passage not found in any other biblical text, a segment at the end of the Gospel of Mark known as the Phreologion. A logion is a saying attributed to Jesus. A translation of the Phreologion reads, "And Christ replied to them, 'The term of years of Satan's power has been fulfilled, but other terrible things draw near.'" The passage seemed to address the question of whether God or Satan was in charge. That's interesting because there's a big theory that it's actually the opposite, that Satan is actually in charge right now. It's fucking weird, man.
Wow.
There's so much weird shit.
That would make sense right now.
It would make sense.
It would totally make everyone calmer.
This is Satan's realm, is what they're saying. This is hell,
Yeah, well, that's what
is
I
what
said
they're
before.
saying. I've said it too. And that to find your spirituality to a level where it makes you happy and things like that is supposedly what they call heaven on earth.
Okay.
So I don't know, take it for what you will, but that's what they say. Who's they? That's what they say. That's some fascinating shit right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of A lot of information.
What else we got here? We got mysterious ancient inscriptions never meant to be read. Biblical secrets revealed. I don't know about that one.
I know. That looks
already
like
read
it's
that
a
one too, right?
clickbait. Yeah, we saw that one.
Clickbait.
Nope.
Many
one.
samurai had swords with secret crucifixes and hidden Christian symbols to avoid persecution. Early persecuted Christians used many secret symbols, and one of them was known as the ichthys. There are countless such examples. What is an ichthys?
I don't know. The fish.
Oh.
The fish.
Oh, the
is an
fish. The ichthys.
Ichthys.
Yeah, fish. Because if you have, was it ichthyophobia? You're afraid of fish.
Okay. So
Sometimes
it's a
our
fish
ancestors felt they wanted to convey a message to future generations, but only much later. There are also mysterious ancient texts that were never meant to be read, and these are today's subject. Why would anyone bother to write text on artifacts hoping the message was never found? What was the purpose of such mysterious ancient inscriptions? As we are about to find out, there was an important reason. Our journey takes us to the heart of the Holy Land. I am not reading this.
Nope.
This is boring. You want to read it for yourselves? Go to ancientpages.com. Mysterious ancient inscriptions never meant to be read. Biblical secrets revealed. Yeah, dude. There's a lot of cool secret shit out there. Is what I'm saying. That Voynich manuscript is kind of interesting in a way. Because nobody really knows where the hell it came from.
You think somebody made it up?
I think so. I think it was like, you know how some people do that shit just to
Fabricated.
fucking go, dude, in about 500 years, people are going to see this and they're going to be like, dude, what is this? And we're going to laugh. No, motherfucker, you're going to be dead.
Unless you're Yoda.
But yeah, right? But your
Maybe I'll still
your
be-
joke will live on. I don't know. That's the end of our show, Don.
So all you have to do is erase ancient manuscript and write it on the ancient parchment, because that's all they're gonna
Yeah.
check.
I'm going to start doing that today. I'm just going to start
Erase
writing
it.
shit and then erase it
Yeah.
and then put something else over it.
Nice.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We had a good time today. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to give us an email. thedeadtimeradio@gmail.com. Call us at 843-492-7966. I don't know what to say anymore. I hope you guys have a great time. We'll see you next time. See ya.